CD929, Pete Wentz, Andy Hurley from Fall Out Boy just ended up in our studios today. Hello.
Hello.
Gentlemen. How are
How's
you
it
today?
going?
It's been a long time. Love from the Other Side, new song that you can hear here on CD929. So much for Stardust, the 8th studio album, the first one in 5 years. So obviously a lot out of your control, like with COVID and everything in 5 years it happened. What, if anything, heavily influenced the new album?
You know, when you've been doing art for 20 years in the same context, kind of, or within the same kind of context, you're much more likely to damage your legacy by putting out new art. Finding the right reason to make art in the right perspective 20 years in is difficult. So, like, it took us 5 years to figure that out. You know, like, I think it took us time to think, like, why do we want to make a record? Why should there be another Fall Out Boy record, 20 years in, And we had a lot of friends who were like, this is the perfect time to just, like, you should just, make Sugar We're Going Down Part 2. Like, there's, When We Were Young festival and all this stuff happening. And I think we ran away from that idea. I just think that, like, lots of times when people do return to form music, it just sounds like old guys trying to, squeeze back into the old superhero outfits. And so
people had a certain expectation and you're like, no, you're going to do what you want to do for that album.
I think so, but I think more than that, because, like, I know that the thing is like, who you are when you're, 25 making records in, a van or whatever. It's just like recapturing that is going to be very difficult, and I think won't come out the way maybe people think it will come out. Like, I mean, we've all heard it and seen it with movies and stuff, and so we just, I think, wanted to make a record more that, like, combined kind of all the eras, that we've done, and this is our attempt at it,
It seemed to work out well. And I know we don't want to compare eras here, but you guys...
You can do whatever.
Well, I mean, you helped shape pop punk in the early 2000s, right? And then, it's kind of made a resurgence lately, which personally I love.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the current state of pop punk?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, like, think about the state of that often, but...
Could you imagine a State of the Union like that? Hey, President, State. You'd be like, well, I wasn't really thinking about
that. That would be very interesting. I'm not sure. That would be very interesting, though. I think that, like...
But are the younger bands getting it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think about, like, whether it's Willow or, like, I think Lil Uzi's cool. Like, I just think in some ways, like, the first time we were doing our stuff in arenas, we were just trying to do, like, versions of Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses, like, it's just different iterations of the thing, that, like, come back and it's gonna be different, thankfully, because they're combining it with different elements. So I also think about it in terms of, like, when I'm watching, like, The Mandalorian with my kids, I'm like, this is not really a TV show for you. They're not, like, making shows for 43-year-old Star Wars fans. They're making them for, like, a new generation of kids. And if you happen to like them as well, that's cool, whatever. And so, I don't know, like, listening to what old guys' thoughts are on new bands is always a little punishing. But I do think a lot of the up-and-coming artists are very cool.
I do have a Star Wars question, but that'll be a little bit later.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Your tour kicks off on June 21st at Wrigley Field, which, you guys are from Chicago. I got to ask, we a Cubs fan? We a White Sox fan? What are we doing here?
I'm a Cubs fan because my father would disown me otherwise, and my family grew up, that's just, Cubs, I think, and White Sox are divided by kind of where you live usually, I think.
Okay.
Then we were, like, Northsiders, so that's where Andy is from Milwaukee, so.
Yep.
Oh, are you? I'm a Brewers fan. I was about to say, it's like Wrigley North up there. I swear to God, every time the Cubs visit in Miller Park, or what they call something else now,
American Family Insurance.
There's always a fist fight. Always a fist fight after that game, no matter who wins. That's really funny.
That's what it's all about.
I saw, I was kind of like looking over some other interviews. I see you had a Bulls shirt on. You rep Chicago. Are you actually really into any sports?
I'm really into playoff basketball right now.
Okay.
A Bulls fan and a Cubs fan. And I'm, like, kind of a Bears fan. Like, I have 3 children and we live in Los Angeles, and so they don't really, they're not really into any of the Chicago teams. So we kind of agreed on the Rams. So, but my old man's a Bears fan, and he's just always in a bad mood. So
when the last time you talked to him, because he's got to be okay that Aaron Rodgers is now going to the Jets.
he finds the dark side in anything. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's got a problem with Jordan Love or something. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't know. The Bears had a bear gif waving goodbye, as Aaron Rodgers is now leaving the NFC North. So I figured that might hopefully make him a little bit happy.
Probably.
Yeah. I saw the word Marvel, and I am a big Marvel fan. Who's the Marvel fan here?
I think we're all Marvel fans.
Yeah. What is your favorite movies, favorite character?
My favorite character in the MCU, I think, would probably be either Rocket or Iron Man.
Okay.
I don't know right now.
Yeah. I don't. It just.
Who's your favorite character?
Well, mine's Doctor Strange.
He's great.
Strange, cool.
As we get older, though, it just gets harder to follow it because there's just so much going on. Like there's now the TV shows and it's a little too much. I read something where Pete, you came to the realization that getting older is cooler. Okay, getting older this is okay. I mean, what's gotten easier for you as you've gotten older?
Well, getting older, you just have to either be at peace with it or you're going to just be fighting nature. To me, I think I take it a little easier on myself now. I was in my 20s. I really worried about everything all the time. And, I don't know. I think I worry less. I worry about different stuff.
I think at a certain age, you stop caring about certain things. Like I've been in radio for 23 years and I used to really care what people thought about me. And now I don't.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice, and nothing really else has changed except that I've gotten older. Back on the Star Wars real quick, the Mandalorian, how did you feel when Grogu was revealed? So it was Baby Yoda, and then all of a sudden Grogu. Were you positive, pro Grogu?
It would have been very odd in universe to call him Baby Yoda, right?
Correct, yeah.
Like that would have been really weird for him to not have like a name.
But I think when they said Grogu, people were like,
Yeah. Every once in a while, when you see something like a name like Grogu or something like that, you're like, these guys had the I can do whatever the fuck I want vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's going so well and so smooth. Like you got to throw something in to just show everybody that you we kind of are just allowed to do whatever we want.
Don't give an F. Yeah, because
Yes.
the response is not going to be probably positive. What would you have named him if you had the choice?
Oh man, what would I have named him?
And I'm going to ask you too, Andy. So think about it.
I have no idea. Frog baby.
Frog baby. I'll go with
Froggy.
that too.
All right.
Froggy.
Your tour coming up, going to be all over the place. Looking forward to it, geared up. I mean, totally different from the Hella Mega tour because we're still kind of dealing with COVID back then. And that still pops up from now. But I mean, it's like, let's go. So you guys geared up and ready for the tour.
Yeah, and the Hella Mega tour, listen, we played an hour-long set of singles and we were playing it very cool, but at the same time we were just trying to keep up with Green Day and Weezer, and so this one is our show, so it's a little more stressful in some ways, I guess.
I would have thought maybe the opposite because it is your show, so you're going to do what you want, right?
Well, yeah, but I feel like on the Hella Mega tour we were like, well, if we biff this thing, Billy Joel will fix it for us.
True.
It was great when you guys came through here. Your tour does kick off June 21st at Wrigley Field. You're going to be both in Cleveland and Cincinnati. No Columbus stop. Left from the Other Side, the new song off the album, So Much for Stardust. You guys, thanks for spending the time in the studio today with me. Really appreciate it.
Thank
No
you.
worries. Thanks for having us.
Pete Wentz and Andy Hurley from Fall Out Boy, CD 92.9.
What's up? This is Pete
And Andy.
from Fall Out Boy, and you're listening to CD 92.9, Central Ohio's only live, local, independent radio station. Suck it.